What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another NHL discussion video with some NHL 18 gameplay in the background. And here today, I'm going to be talking about 4 possible trading destinations for Henrik Zetterberg. Now, in real life, I don't see Zetterberg being traded or any of that, because his contract is just kind of bad. But he's still a very key player for the Red Wings. He had the most points last year in the 2016-2017 season, so he still has some value to him. And if it wasn't for his contract, these 4 teams could really use him to contend for the playoffs and maybe even a Stanley Cup, I could say. So, yes, we got 4 teams here. It may not be completely realistic, but they are just 4 teams I had in mind. So, let's get into it. Coming in at the number 4 spot, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this team would have a little trouble taking Zetterberg because of his contract. You know, he's an expensive player. And having Weber and Price locked down, that's going to be a big deal to add a third player in that has a big salary. So they probably wouldn't take him, like I said, because of his contract. But if they could, these are the reasons why. I'd say, because they definitely need a number 1 center over there in Montreal. They've been struggling to get one for years because, you know, Volcanic hasn't worked out, Desjardins hasn't worked out, or Desjardins, however you say his name. Who else? They tried, Galchenyuk, but he's not really consistent enough, and now they're trying Druin, but I don't really see those guys being able to play center. And Zetterberg can win some faceoffs pretty decently. He's no Bergeron or anything, but he can definitely get the job done better than Galchenyuk or Druin. And, this would complete the offensive core because Druin's a really good... Druin and Pacioretty are some pretty good goal scorers. Druin can do playmaking, but he's a little bit in between. Galchenyuk is playmaking, but he can't seem to score enough goals, and he's been struggling to playmake even. And adding Zetterberg to that, he could be an assist machine over there. Just pass the puck to Druin and Pacioretty, and they're off 30, 35 goals. You know, that would really help the offense. That would help out Carey Price too. You know, so it would definitely complete the offensive core over in Montreal. And for the first 2 years of his contract, they could use him to win now. Of course, I don't imagine they'd want to keep him long term, but that's where the unrealistic part comes in because he's locked down for another 4 to 5 years, I believe. But they would like to use him in his maybe first 2 years of the contract, and after that, they would probably try to get him out of there. But Montreal at the number 4 spot. Coming in at the number 3 spot, the New York Rangers. Now, we know that Derek Stepan and Antti Raanta got traded to Arizona last year, or during the offseason, I should say, and they didn't really have anyone take Stefan's place. And Zetterberg could really fill in that void and help out the offensive core because their number 1 center isn't there anymore. They traded him away, He didn't do good in the playoffs. I had to get him out of there, I guess. But, Elias Anderson didn't make the team. I believe that was their draft pick. They got, some young guy playing, but he's young. He's still inexperienced. And to get a veteran up there on the first line, that can really get the team going. And, like I said, he can really help out with Kreider and maybe Miller get some more goals, It'd be good for them, but the same thing. The contract is an issue. And, yes, they could use him to win now also, 1 or 2 more years before New York really is going to struggle because, Lundqvist is going to fall off a cliff eventually. He can't stay Henrik Lundqvist forever, he's getting older. But, the main reason is because they need a number 1 center after trading Stefan. That would be the big reason. So, yeah, New York Rangers at the number 3 spot. And coming in at the number 2 spot, the San Jose Sharks. Now, they had the cap space maybe to take his contract because, Patrick Marleau left, and that's the main reason they could use Henrik Zetterberg is because they need somebody to take Marleau's spot. And they still have a pretty decent offensive depth over there, but, they never seem like Couture never seemed to get going as a playmaker. I feel like they just have too many playmakers, but, it wouldn't hurt to add Zetterberg because, they got to have somebody to replace Marleau. And, Thornton wouldn't always have to be the number 1 guy there. He wouldn't always have to be playing first-line minutes. You could give Thornton a break every now and then because Couture and Zetterberg could be on a line, then Thornton could play the second line, get some rest for the playoffs and stuff like that. That would definitely help out Thornton age-wise. And I feel like if they were to trade for Zetterberg, they could stay a playoff team for 2 or 3 more years. Not like that's the best thing, but you never know. They could go on a run one year like they did in 2016. But yeah, so San Jose Sharks, they could use them to replace Marleau. That's the big thing. So there they are at the number 2 spot. And coming in at the number 1 spot, the Nashville Predators. Now, I don't know if they could, afford to trade for Zetterberg and then sign their players this offseason, but they're trying to win that cup now. As you could tell from last year, they want to go back to the Stanley Cup Finals. And they've been having a center issue too, just like New York and Montreal. They've been, looking for that number 1 center to help their team. And, one time it was Mike Ribeiro, now they got Ryan Johansson, but he can get injured. But if you could add Zetterberg, that makes the offensive core so much stronger. And your offense would be good as your defense. And like I said, maybe he could help them win a Stanley Cup because Zetterberg is still... Ooh, voice crack. Rip. Because Zetterberg is still a very key player. He can probably help a team win a cup if he got the chance to, you know? I mean, Detroit's not exactly a cup contender anymore, if you know what I mean. So, but, yeah, like, I don't know what they would trade for to get him. But I imagine we would take some prospects back. But I don't know. I think, like... It would help so much because, you know, Mike Fisher went off into the sunset. He's gone now. They can replace him with Zetterberg, and that's a huge upgrade. I mean, contract-wise, not the greatest thing, but points-wise, that really does help. And like I said, Zetterberg is a pretty good number one center. They could switch him and Johansson off. Their offensive core would be just as good as their defensive core. So, yeah, Nashville at the number one spot. So, yeah, guys, there you go. 4 possible trade destinations for Henrik Zetterberg to go to. Do you think there's any teams I left out? Do you think there should be more teams added? Tell me in the comments down below. So, yeah, guys, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to see more content like this every day. And I'll see you guys in the next one.